Okay, let's do the chanting straight away. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami, Tudayambe Buddham saranam gacchami, Tudayambe Dhammam saranam gacchami, Tudayambe Sangham saranam gacchami, Tatayambe Buddham saranam gacchami, Tatayambe Dhammam saranam gacchami, Kadayambe Sangham Saranam Gacchami. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. Namo Buddhaya, Namo Dharmaya, Namo Sanghaya. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the six paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the six paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. I take refuge until I am enlightened in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Through the positive potential I create by practicing the six paramitas, may I soon attain enlightenment in order to benefit all sentient beings. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May they be free from suffering and its causes. May they never be parted from their happiness beyond suffering. May they abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment to the near, and aversion from the far. I shall cause this. Great compassionate Buddha, please inspire me to be able to do so. Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind, and present clouds of every types of offerings, actual and mentally transformed. I confess all of my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in all the virtues of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until silent existence ends, and turn the wheel of Dharma for all sentient beings. I dedicate the virtues of myself and others to the great enlightenment. However innumerable all sentient beings are about to save them all. However inexhaustible my delusions are about to extinguish them all. However immeasurable the Dharma teachings are about to master them all. However endless the Buddha's way is about to follow it completely. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Tayatam gati gati paragati parasamgati bodhi soha. Tayatam gati gati paragati parasamgati bodhi soha. Tayatam gati gati paragati parasamgati bodhi soha. So cold here. Actually, let me look at the weather. I'll give you a weather report from across in England over there. So I know it's really hot. We spoke to my cousin a little while ago. It's 10 degrees, feels like 5, it says, with the wind chill factor. Feels colder than that. In fact, the reason I'm mentioning it is because when we were doing the prayers, I sort of tripped over a couple of words. My sinuses are really blocked from the cold, I think. And so it's sort of breathing in. I've got to breathe in my mouth properly to get some good air, rather than that. So I tripped over. I think it was one word, cyclic, or two words, cyclic existence. And when I did that, I noticed that when I breathed out, there was actually some mist, or almost looked like smoking coming out of my mouth inside the house. So if I go, yeah, I can see it now. When you're outside in really cold weather and you just breathe and there's this sort of, I don't know what you call that, it's a mist or something. But yeah, so it's really cold. Maybe we should have put the heater on for 5 minutes before the class and warmed my little room up here. Anyway, that's okie dokie. So We'll do some meditation now. And of course, we're continuing the commentary on Master Atisha's heart advice and up to the parts that relate to the six paramitas, as you recall. And we're specifically on the fifth one at the moment. So the paramita or perfection of concentration. And in fact, the words he spoke that relate to this says, since this human life is wasted by indulging in distractions, now is the time to practice concentration. So um, we'll have a look at it this week, as we did last week, and also next week, I imagine, and then move on to the sixth paramita here, which says, being under the influence of wrong views, you do not realize the ultimate nature of things. Therefore, investigate correct meanings. And I've kind of allocated two classes to that. And then, of course, we finish up with the last little bit of the teaching. So another 6 lines after that one. And I imagine, maybe we're finished in about 6 weeks, 6, 7 weeks of these teachings, and then we move on to the next lot of teachings. I don't know what they are yet. And like I said last week, I grabbed hold of this Dalai Lama book. You can see here. I don't know if it's clear for you. You can see it's a very old book. I think I probably purchased this one. Does it say? No, I don't know. All I know is that it cost $12.95 US dollars and £8.95 in the UK. So it was a while ago. I imagine late 80s. So, but anyway, when we actually did these teachings in relation to um, the Eightfold Path, when we were doing concentration, and as mentioned last week, I spent some time on the actual practice of meditation and what we need to do. Concentration meditation, that is, okay? And so I actually utilized this book and wrote, because I knew that was listed, these faults and all this stuff, the different stages or states. And so I knew that it was at the front of the book. And so then I added notes for myself, but I don't know where my notes are. So I've just pulled out this book and just talk off the top of my head. I remember that I put them in a couple of drawers when we changed things around. Mum got a new bed that helps her get up, sort of like elevates her so she can get out of bed and whatever, almost like a hospital bed. And then, of course, I got mum's and dad's other bed, and we turfed one of the beds, gave it away basically. And when we did that, I remember putting these things away. It was like a year ago or so. And so I don't know what drawers I put them in. And they're probably down the bottom of the drawers. So much easier just to go to my bookshelf and get a book. So I'll just grab these. Yep, so there they are. So we spoke last week about 5 hindrances and quite in depth. So we'll leave that, and then what's in this book related to the five faults to be relinquished, the antidotes, and so on. We will talk about today and next week. So I wanted to introduce you to that today, and because we are doing some meditation now. So this is related. If I may add some things while we're doing meditation as well. So pay attention to the voice. But most likely I will speak towards the end of the class as per usual. Anyway, forget everything I just said. And by the way, this is the other thing. With it being cold, I don't know what the deal was because normally what I do is after lunch, maybe finish lunch 1, 2 o'clock on a Saturday. It's light lunch. And because I don't want to be too full when I'm speaking with you. But normally what I do is I set up this little room, so I grab the things. This one out, the tanka, is in between the kitchen and the lounge, easy to see. This one here is right in front of where Mum sits, the Thai version. And some of the little and to medium-sized statues are also out in the living room. And and then, I also this cushion cover up the top here that stops the glare bouncing off the glass. Anyway, so when I checked my camera on my computer, and I thought it looks really weird. And the only thing that was up was that, which obviously I'd forgot to put it away from last week. So so quickly, I probably kept you guys waiting for a minute. I quickly went around the house and grabbed all the little things. So I wasn't even ready. I didn't set up the studio, the mini temple. What can you do apart from maintaining inner smile? So now we can talk about inner. Bring the mind inside the body after getting yourself physically comfortable. Let go of the past. Let go of any worries you may have. Let go of thinking about the future. And let go of any anxiety that may arise. Bring your mind inside the body. And you can release the tension from the body, from the bottom initially, or and work your way up to the top of your head. So starting at the feet, the toes, all around your feet, and lower legs, and the knees, and upper legs, to the midsection, and your upper torso. Obviously, pay more attention to those areas you may have some stress or pain in. And also, of course, the back, because I think all of us, especially as we get older, have issues with our back, even if it's just stiffness. So release whatever tension you may have all up your back, into your shoulders, and all the way down to the tips of your fingers. And all around your neck. And head, of course, including all of your face. Make sure you're not clenching your jaw or frowning. Finally, release from the crown of your head. And now scan your body the same way, just very briefly, in case there's some leftover tension that you're able to release. If there is, do so. And now bring your attention to the tip of your nose initially, and follow the feeling of the breath as you breathe in your nose all the way into your lungs, then back out your nose again. Breathing in and breathing out. And you can add the extra technique to help you keep focused on the feeling of the breath, of counting the breaths. One in breath, one out breath is one, and so on. But don't count past 10, because we want the breath to remain the focus. If you get distracted on the way towards 10, go back to 1 at that time. So if any thoughts arise, mental activity arises, don't cling to it. Don't grasp at it. Don't try to force it away or deny it. But simply and naturally let it go as you replace your mind back onto your breath. And if your mind becomes dull or sleepy, then wake it up by refocusing on your breath more brightly. So now let's practice like this in silence for a little bit. So now we can feel pleased with ourselves and fill ourselves with universal loving kindness, utilizing the visualization of filling your whole being with the white light, which represents universal loving kindness. Really feel it. Really feel this kindness, this gentleness, this friendliness that you are extending towards yourself. So much so that it now radiates outwards from your heart center and enters into the heart centers of your loved ones in front of you, fills their being as well with the white light. And now you can also include strangers, just a few people that you don't really know very well or even at all. And even include those you may regard as enemies as well. Filling all of these people with this white light, universal loving kindness, wishing they're happy, free from suffering, and are peaceful. Now, beyond human beings alone, extend this loving kindness to all sentient beings now. Initially around your immediate area, all the sentient beings that live on the land and the waters, fly through the air, whether born from wombs, eggs, moisture, or through transformation. All sentient beings, whether you know about them or not, whether you like them or not, whether you even think about them, possibility of them or not. Radiate this loving kindness to them in the form of the white light from your heart center and enters into their heart centers. Now extend further and further distance-wise throughout your whole state or county. And other states and counties throughout your whole country. And all of the countries throughout the world. Those you're familiar with and have an affinity towards, those you're indifferent towards, and as well as those you may have some negative feelings towards. And have your love and kindness pervade throughout all of the water bodies or bodies of water, including the oceans and lakes and rivers, down to the core of the earth and to the outermost atmosphere. And beyond this planet alone, radiate this love and kindness throughout the whole solar system and the galaxy and the universe and beyond, until your loving kindness pervades infinite space. And we'll also do the dedication prayer right now. Due to this merit, may I soon attain the enlightened state of the Buddha, so that I may be able to liberate all sentient beings from their suffering. May the precious bodhicitta not yet born rise and grow. May that born have no decline but increase forevermore. And may the precious few of shunyata not yet born arise and grow. May that born have no decline but increase forevermore. So sorry that we did it so briefly, so quickly today, but I had a bit of a waffle on at the beginning of class, but with good humor, hopefully, definitely with good intention. Give you a little bit of a laugh. Realize that, we don't, even when things don't go to plan or you sort of forget to do something or make a mistake or whatever, it's not the end of the world. You still keep good attitude, good intentions and so on, and just live in the moment. But it was quite surprising when I looked at my, into the camera, checking the camera on the computer, and well, it looks all really different. Oh, no, I haven't set anything up. Okay, so we'll have a look at this. By the way, this is from my memory. I read this decades ago now, say 30 years ago, um, and picked it up a few times since. It's actually quite good. Um, so it sort of introduces the Buddhism of Tibet. Quite simple in a sense, but it does have teachings on emptiness, key to the middle way, and what else does it say here? So that's key to the middle way, which is, yeah, this is definitely by the Dalai Lama. Then, of course, the introduction relates to taking refuge and meditation practice, 3 high trainings, etc. And then it has something else at the back. Oh, The Precious Garland by Master Nagarjuna. The script in verse form is at the back. I remember that now, I forgot. Does it have commentary? That's the question. No, it's just bland. Okay, that'll do. So we're talking about meditation. And as Master Atisha says, the distractions really don't do you any good at all, especially attachment to distraction, because you cling to it, cling to whatever distractions you may have. And since this human life is wasted by indulging in distractions, this is now the time and place to practice meditation and develop our concentration. And so, excuse me. Okay, so the 5 faults to be relinquished are: 1, laziness. That is, not wishing to cultivate meditative stabilization. You know, and this can be passive laziness, also can take on the form of active laziness, sort of filling our lives with all sorts of busy things, telling ourselves that's important or that's more important than actually practicing meditation. Remember that you can practice meditation formally sitting on a cushion or whatever you sit on, but also informally, in a sense. Whatever you do, you be mindful, aware, and conscientious. Washing the dishes, meditate. Making a cup of tea, meditate. Talking with others, meditate. Keep an upright mind, keep a concentrated mind, keep an inner smile. Okay, so that is practicing meditation as well. So this laziness, not wishing to cultivate the meditative stabilization. If ever you find yourself falling into that, just thinking, I don't want to do this anymore, I don't want to do this, or you're having the doubts, whether you're good enough to do this or whether this is really what for you, or even doubting the Buddha's teachings and so on, then collect yourself and investigate that inside your mind and analyze that. You will come to realize that this is practice of meditation, practice of the Dharma is the most beneficial thing that we can do. It makes this life a precious human life. Okay. But you need to know that for yourself. It's not just good enough, just me telling you, or even reading from the sutras, reading in the sutras, or commentaries from learned teachers, whatever. But you need to know it for yourself. Okay. So that's why I say investigate, analyze. Just, be kind to yourself. Give yourself the time to really know the good qualities in the practice of meditation. And all of these details that I'm giving you now from this written in this book are very precious, okay? But you must know it, okay? Number 2 of the 5 faults to be relinquished is forgetfulness, not remembering the object of meditation. So this is now, we're doing breath meditation and your mind keeps wandering off. You're forgetting that First of all, that the breath is the focus and you're forgetting to keep focused. You're forgetting to be mindful of the breath, forgetting to, when your mind wanders from the breath, forgetting to be aware of that, and then to conscientiously apply the antidotes, put your mind back onto the breath. You're forgetting to do that. Number three is lethargy and excitement. Like I said, this is like, pendulum, clock. Too overactive mind, lethargic mind. We're so often like this. We want to be middle path, actually beyond middle path eventually. But just to use, this kind of example I'm using with my hands, too much that way, too much this way, be middle. Then you understand what that is, and you understand what that is. You can perceive the two extremes and go beyond them. So lethargy and excitement, interruptions of meditative stabilization. So if your mind is overactive, too many thoughts, telling yourself stories or playing yourself movies in your mind, writing scripts that aren't believable, then apply the antidotes. Okay? Because at that time, that's disturbing your meditation. But also if your mind becomes lethargic and sleepy, slothful, that disturbs your meditation by making your mind all fluffy and sleepy. Okay, so that's not conducive. It may feel good a little bit, like just before that feeling, just before we fall asleep, but it's not conducive to bright concentration. Therefore, it's not conducive to realizing supreme wisdom and also developing compassion and so on. So we need to apply the antidote to that, brighten your mind at that time. If your mind is lethargic, it's disturbing your meditation, blocking your meditation. If your mind's overactive, excited, and so on, disturbing your meditation. Okay? So, then what the Dalai Lama says here is interruptions of the meditative stabilization. Okay? Number 4, non-application of the antidotes, occurring when lethargy and excitement arise. So if your mind wanders off the object, then you don't apply the antidote because your mind is either overactive or excited, or it's dull, lethargic. This is quite simple stuff, It's just that we have such thick habits of being distracted for so many lifetimes, and that it's hard to apply. And sometimes, especially, I say this, especially very intelligent people like yourselves, may get irritated at this because maybe we have puffed up ideas sometimes. I am very smart, I am very this, that, the other. And then all of a sudden we think, I can't even concentrate on my breath for more than 5 seconds, or more than 20 minutes even. Then that may put us off practice, but don't let it, okay? That's where the effort comes in again, Maintain this enthusiasm, but sometimes if it wanes, then persevere in the practice. Then number 5 is over application. So this is like continuing to apply the antidotes even though lethargy and excitement have been extinguished. So let's say we've applied the antidotes, replace the mind back onto the object, which is the breath in this case, but you're still applying the antidotes, you're still reapplying. So you don't need to do that. You can let it go at that time because that's extra thoughts. That's extra stuff again. So I'll just read it to you again. 5 faults to be relinquished are: 1, laziness, not wishing to cultivate meditative stabilization. Number 2, forgetfulness, not remembering the object of meditation. Number 3, lethargy and excitement, interruptions of meditative stabilization. Number 4, non-application of the antidotes, occurring when lethargy and excitement arise. Number 5, over-application, continuing to apply the antidotes even though lethargy and excitement have been extinguished. How are we doing for time? Because I was a minute or two late, maybe we go over. I the clock's up. I always forget about this clock. 6 minutes, so it's not too bad. Um, the 8 antidotes are the means for relinquishing these faults. The antidotes to laziness. There's 4 of them. Number 1, faith. Seeing the good qualities of meditative stabilization. I alluded to that before. Knowing these good qualities. Knowing the goodness in the practice. Knowing how good it is for you. But also knowing, because you have the ability to concentrate your mind, to develop this meditative stabilization, as the Dalai Lama calls it here, then mental development, you could say as well. You're doing it. Have confidence and faith and trust in yourself that you can do that. The second one of the antidotes that overcome laziness is aspiration, seeking to attain those good qualities. Number 3 is effort, delighting in engaging in meditative stabilization. And number 4, physical and mental pliancy, which is an effect of the effort. So you're able to deal with anything, your mind is flexible, can deal with whatever arises and in whatever moments arise and the circumstances they may bring. You're able just to deal with it, be flexible. And stable mind, clear mind, pliant mind. I repeat them: faith, aspiration, effort, and physical and mental pliancy. So, once again, faith. I'll remind you, there's either 3 or 4 types of perfect faith, or 4 types of faith, I should say. There is the faith in the teacher and the teachings, in the good qualities of the teacher and the teachings. Then there is the faith of emulation, where you now want to emulate these qualities yourself. In other words, realize these qualities yourself. Then there is the faith of conviction, where you've thoroughly tested it, thoroughly contemplated, investigated, analyzed it, and you have no more doubts now. Total conviction. When these 3 are perfect, that is perfect faith. That's just to remind you of that, okay? So faith, seeing the good qualities of meditative stabilization, aspiration, seeking to attain those good qualities, effort, delighting in engaging in meditative stabilization, and physical, mental, and mental pliancy, which is an effect of this effort. The antidote to forgetfulness is mindfulness. So this is maintaining concentration on an object continuously. The antidote to lethargy and excitement is awareness, knowing that lethargy or excitement has arisen or is arising. This is within the instruction that I give at the start of class, meditation instruction. Every week, all of these are within that. I may not use the same words or give them numbers or whatever, but when your mind wanders, replace your mind onto the object. Mind becomes dull, sleepy, brighten your mind, and so on, okay? So the antidote to lethargy and excitement is awareness, knowing that lethargy or excitement has arisen or is arising. How are we doing? 2 minutes. The antidote to non-application is application, of course. So simple. Engaging in the antidotes to lethargy and excitement. And the antidote to over-application is desisting from application. In other words, relaxing one's effort. Relaxing now because your mind is placed back onto the object. Don't think about it. Just keep your mind focused on the object. Don't worry about thinking, am I having too many thoughts? Am I having dull mind? Because that's extra thoughts, isn't it? That's extra stuff. We don't want to add extra stuff, even though we're sometimes working very hard to keep the mind on the object. So through applying the 8 antidotes to the 5 faults are gradually eliminated, and one passes through the 9 states of concentration, of which we will talk about next week. Okay? So stay cool where it's warm, stay warm where it's cold. My beanie will go back on now, it's just over there. And so I rejoice in your goodness as per usual. Encourage you to study the Dharma. When you do that, just do that. Encourage you to practice the Dharma to the best of your ability, always. And share the Dharma when you have the opportunity, in whichever way. I encourage you to do that. Once again, rejoice in your goodness.